put it in the script. Oh, cool. Welcome to River Road Unitarian Universalist Congregation. My name is Bailey Whiteman and my pronouns are she and they. I'm a white, middle-aged, fat woman with sandy brown, shoulder-length curly hair, which I have clipped up today due to the extreme heat in this space. And I'm wearing glasses and an orange, large beaded necklace. Before we begin, we want to take a moment to welcome Reverend Amanda back from her sabbatical. Thank you. We hope her time away was everything she hoped it would be, and we look forward to engaging with her again in community. We'd also like to bring our fellow travelers from this last year, Pamela Huffman, Elaine Johnson, and Mac Tadia, into the space. Although each of them is unable to be here in person today, their words and their energy are very much part of this service. We now ask that you enter into this worship as you might a museum exhibit or a garden, reverently, thoughtfully, and with the intent to feel and be. We encourage you to journal, draw, close your eyes, light a candle, get a glass of water, even move, whatever helps you connect with our time together. Please refrain from any applause, which is not only unnecessary, but is likely to disturb the experience of others. We look forward to speaking with you after the service and will gladly receive any appreciation then. As we light our chalice, I offer these words by Junot Díaz, a Dominican-American writer and creative writing professor at the Massachusetts Institute of Technology. He says, "Art has a way of confronting us, of reminding us, of engaging us in what it means to be human, and what it means to be human is to be flawed, is to be contradictory, is to be often weak. And yet, despite all of these, what we would consider drawbacks, that we're also quite beautiful. The whole culture is telling you to hurry, while the art tells you to take your time. Always listen to the art."
Tu plonges tes yeux dans mes yeux frôle mes cheveux, je n'existe plus qu'en eux. Si ta main effleure mes seins, j'y monte comme feu soudain. Est-ce moi que tu as choisi?
Good morning and welcome. My name is Jenny Sauer, and my pronouns are she, her. I am a white woman who has recently graduated from middle age to something I have just learned is called young old age. And I have been a member of River Road since 1998. As some of you may know, Wellspring is a series of courses for Unitarian Universalists that focuses on spiritual deepening around various topics. There's an introductory course that is first required. It's called Sources, and it's kind of like Wellspring 101. This intro course examines the history of our faith through readings, journaling, and discussions, and calls on participants to dig deep into their core values and figure out how to integrate their faith more fully into their daily lives. After this introductory course, the Wellspring journey can continue through more specialized topics. For example, faithful actions, spiritual ancestors, and more. Our group explored together sacred arts. And every 2 to 3 weeks, for almost a year, we sat together via Zoom and shared our reflections, our questions, and our deepest feelings, facilitated by River Road member and artist Pamela Huffman. We set aside the daily grind of life and embraced the big, wide world of art. In each session, we focused on a different creative art. Some of these arts were more traditional: dance, painting, music, sculpture, architecture, and theater. And some were more unusual: cooking, landscaping, and stand-up comedy. What makes art sacred? Its wisdom, hidden meaning, metaphor, what it tells us about the world we live in and the world we want to live in, what it tells us about ourselves and who we hope to be. Art is a kind of window to the soul. There was a lot of laughter and even some tears as we explored together the sacred arts curriculum and shared our insights, fears, memories, likes, and dislikes, our very souls. One of my favorite evenings was when we talked about the sacred art of cooking, not just the preparation part of it, but how, when we share food, we share love. That evening, Mac described in great detail a surprise celebration his family planned during COVID. Mac retired from the Foreign Commercial Service in the middle of the pandemic, so unfortunately there were no retirement parties. To acknowledge his years of foreign service, living and working abroad, Mac's wife, Bev, their 3 adult children, and their sons-in-law decided to create a special meal for him at home with a favorite dish from each of the 5 countries they had lived in as a family. Each family member took charge of a dish from a different country and began secretly collecting special ingredients and hiding them from Mac. It was stealth work at its finest. Mac had no idea what was happening. On the big day, a feast appeared. One course after another was served, each with a unique history, plates of memories and love. They passed the night away, reminiscing as a family. The rest of us sat in awe as Mac told this story in wondrous, delicious detail, and at the end there was silence. I think in part we were all a bit jealous that we hadn't been able to share that mouth-watering meal, but mostly he had made palpable how sacred cooking can be, how when we share food, we share love. In our readings and our discussions, we traveled the world. But we didn't just travel the outer world, we traveled the inner world as well and explored art close to home in our personal lives. Pam committed herself to creating a new piece of art every day for 100 days. The result? A collection of beautiful and wondrous collages and paintings, a new kind of daily journal. I set myself the personal challenge of taking a drawing class, which I did. First on Zoom, and then in person. The first time I picked up a piece of charcoal was magical. I felt powerful. Drawing was scary, but also fun, and it changed the way I looked at the world. I noticed how different my drawings were in the 2 classes I took. Maybe because I'm just a beginner, maybe because the teachers themselves were so different, maybe because I changed as I learned and explored. I began to wonder, who are we when we create art? How does art transform us? Today, we would like to share the power of art with you. Music has been central to Bailey's life for many, many years, and she will sing. Pam, who is not just a visual artist, but also a writer, will read some of her poetry. In Mac's place, I will lead an interactive exercise with you, something we did together almost every class, so that you can experience together the joy of experiencing and talking about art and community. And Reverend Amanda will share a brief reflection from Elaine that grows out of her experience with the connection between art and spirituality. Now, please rise in body or spirit and join in singing our opening hymn, Winds Be Still. The words will be projected on the wall behind me and on the screen for those watching online.
Winds be still, storm clouds pass and silence come.
Hi, I am Pamela Huffman, and I was the facilitator for Sacred Arts this past year, and I wanted to share with you a poem that I wrote about a walk that I took with my dog. But I was thinking about how nature reminds me of church, so I tried to use some churchy words. I was raised Catholic, so they're sort of Catholic words, to describe the experience that I had that morning. My poem is called Sanctuary. This morning, curious to learn the secret language of birdsong, I wander the cathedral of the forest with my old dog. Vast conversations, previously unheard, reach me as the sacred souls of birds dance overhead. The fire of the sun trembles above the horizon, and I pause, spellbound, to do a single sun salutation in the sliver of newborn sunlight. My shadow echoes my movements exactly. I listen again for the mysterious bird song, but hear only silence, an absence of sound so complete it is a sound unto itself. I look to the north and see the red fox crossing the path. We exchange a wondrous glance, and she continues on to breakfast, my dog oblivious. As we approach the fox crossing, my dog's nose goes straight to the ground, and he follows an invisible trail. His back hairs stand tall as bamboo. Beneath our feet, the trees connect through deep networks, sending signals about drought and deer and sharing water and nutrients, a wonder of symbiotic communion. As we walk toward home, the hymn of birdsong resumes, and I consider the many languages I don't yet know. Birdsong and sunrise, scent and tree. Maybe spirit is another language I am yearning and learning to speak.
Avril, et c'est le point du jour, tes blondes sœurs qui te ressemblent. En ce moment, toutes ensemble, s'avancent vers toi, cher amour. Tu te tiens dans un clos ombreux de myrte et d'aubépine blanche. La porte s'ouvre sous les branches, le chemin est mystérieux. Elle lente, en longue robe, une à une, main dans la main, franchissent le seuil indistinct où de la nuit devient de l'aube. Celle qui s'avance d'abord regarde l'ombre, te découvre, crie, et la fleur de ses yeux s'ouvre splendide dans un rire d'or. Et jusqu'à la dernière sœur, toute tremble, tes lèvres touchent les lèvres, l'éclair de ta bouche éclate jusque dans leur cœur. Je me poserai sur ton cœur comme le printemps sur la mer. ses ailes lassent et que berce le rythme éternel des flots et de l'espace. Je me poserai sur ton cœur comme l'oiseau sur la mer.
It's a joy to be with you this morning, even as I share these words written by Elaine Johnson, another member of the Wellspring Sacred Arts group this year. She writes, "What is art anyway? What is spirituality? What is the connection between the two? What does it mean to create? Is it worth pondering these questions for a year with this little band of soul seekers? You decide. Here's my story. We've all spent years investigating the question, what is spirituality, both in our various Wellspring classes and before and since. For me, the answer that has emerged is spirituality is nothing more and nothing less than being aware of and consciously participating in the ongoing creation of the universe. If that doesn't immediately compute, don't worry. It took me a long time to arrive there, and it is still unfolding. Being alive to and alive in the ongoing evolution of the universe. Spiraling in the greatest of spirals, dancing even, expanding with it. From there, it's a short step to art and ongoing creation. One of my first insights in this current expedition was this: all art is communication, two-way. Somebody says, "This is how I perceive a thing." I say, "Oh yeah, okay, I'll take a look." Look again, says the Wellspring curriculum. For me, this is also known as God. Look deeper. Yes, okay, this is what I see now. Listen. Listen with your mind. Listen with your heart. Listen with your body. Ask a question. Wait for an answer. Pretty soon we are creating a whole new experience of the thing, the artist in me, a brand new, wholly unique perception as we tumble through the layers of ourselves, offered, heard, revealed, respected, alive, intimate, deep, sacred. This week, we gather once again in the middle of uncertainty in our country. The outcomes of our work for justice, our elections, our various struggles, they all remain uncertain, even as we make a way forward together. We hold all of those experiencing anxiety in these uncertain times, knowing that we are not alone, whatever may come next in this world. In this time of joys and sorrows, we also lift up the remarkable impact in life of the one among us who we have lost, Patrina Hollingsworth, who led in so many ways here at River Road. Her memorial service will be next Sunday, the 13th, at 2 p.m. in the afternoon here in the sanctuary, and we're all welcome to join in remembering her. That service will also be live streamed, so check the e-weekly for a link. And now I invite you into a place of inner stillness for our meditation this morning provided by Pamela Huffman on video, after which we'll hold a moment, a sacred pause of silence.
Hi, Pamela Huffman here again. I wanted to share another poem with you. This one is called A Blessing. And it took me about 2 years probably to write this poem. It started out with me writing about a hummingbird that came to my feeder, and I started thinking about the hummingbird's relationship to me and then my relationship to God or spirit or the universe. And I was able finally to distill and capture something in the poem that I had been thinking about but unable to articulate for a long time. So here's the poem. It's called A Blessing. I have a hummingbird, but he doesn't know he's mine. Actually, he doesn't know I exist. And yet I fill his feeder every week, and I choose the flowers from my garden because they'll bring him the nourishing nectar he needs. And I paint him, and I photograph him, and I write poems about him, and I wait anxiously for his return from Mexico. I watch for him in April when he's been away for 6 months, and every day, all summer, when he's been away for a moment. I worry about him if a day goes by without a visit. I put myself in the way of the hummingbird. When he lands on the feeder calm for just a moment before dipping his beak into the sugary water, I stop everything, walking, talking, even breathing, and watch him. I am enchanted by him. His presence in the world, let alone my world, is the essence of a blessing. Blessing. Now there's an interesting word, mostly used by those who believe in God, but I do not. I don't believe in a God above who sits in judgment, who maintains that I was born into sin, a God who requires me to say, Lord, I am not worthy to receive you, but only say the word and I shall be healed. A God who sent his only son to earth to die tortured upon the cross to absolve my sin. But I don't think the hummingbird believes in me either. He has no awareness of my presence behind the window, my delight upon his alighting on the feeder, my adoration as he pokes his beak into the nectar of the flowers that I bought just for him. He doesn't know I've studied his every feather and meditated on him as I capture his image in my art. Although he doesn't believe in me, I'm here anyway, loving him, providing for him, caring for him, delighting in him, watching for him. Suppose, just suppose, there is an unseen, unbelieved in God like that for me, one who watches for me, who delights in me, who cares for me, provides for me, loves me. Now that is a God I could believe in.
Each time we enter into community together, we are co-creators. We're co-creators of this community in which we've entered this morning. And what we do in this beloved community is made possible through our shared generosity. Giving is a big part of what we do here at River Road. We practice our generosity when we give to our neighbors, when we give to the wider world around us, and when we give to one another. And during this time of offering, we give back to this space that holds us near and far, when we're here and when we're gone. This space that exists beyond the walls of the building and even outside of the confines of time. So once again, as every week, we invite you to give in sacred collaboration and co-creation, to give of the Spirit and from the heart. The basket may come forth. You're also able to give online, giving at another time, giving fully of ourselves. May it be so.
Quoi que tes yeux ne la voient pas, pense en ton âme qu'elle est là, comme autrefois, divine et blanche. Sur ce bord repose ses mains, sa tête est entre ses jasmins. Là, ses pieds effleurent les branches. Et le sommeil en serment, ses lèvres et ses yeux sont clos, et sa bouche à peine respire. Parfois la nuit, dans un éclair, elle apparaît, les yeux ouverts, et l'éclair dans ses yeux se mire. Un bref éblouissement bleu, la découvre en ses longs cheveux. Elle s'éveille, elle se lève, et tout un jardin ébloui s'illumine au fond de la nuit, dans le rapide éclair d'un À quoi, dans ce matin d'avril, si doux, si d'ombre enveloppée, la chair enfante au cœur subtil, est-elle ainsi tout occupée? Pensivement d'un geste long, en longue robe à queue, sur le soleil au rouet blanc, affilé de la laine bleue, à sourire à son rêve encore,
session as part of today's service came from Mac, and I am drawing on the Wellspring unit on sculpture he adapted and planned to share. We will look at a photograph of a sculpture and engage with it in several ways. First, observe now in silence. Look with your heart, mind, and body. Observe not only the art, but also your feelings and thoughts as you spend time with this art. Feel free to make notes, journal, or just observe. Now, I invite you to share your initial impressions. Turn to a person sitting near you, share what you observed, what you saw, and what you felt. And when listening, focus on the other person and their experience. We'll give you 2 to 3 minutes for this. Okay, could you bring your sharing to a close? Thank you. Okay, let's take a moment for some internal reflection again. What was your first impression? What did the person next to you observe? Has your initial impression changed after hearing another person's? This is just internal reflection now. Now let me help you deepen your experience of the sculpture and tell you about this piece. This sculpture is called Expansion and was created by Paige Bradley, a classically trained American sculptor known for representative figurative bronzes. She is currently living and working in London, England. Bradley says of this piece, "Literally, I took a perfectly good wax sculpture, a piece I had sculpted with precision over several months, an image of a woman meditating in the lotus position, and just dropped it on the floor. I destroyed what I made. I was letting it all go. It was scary. It shattered into so many pieces. My first feeling was, what have I done? Then I trusted it would all come together like I envisioned. We cast all the pieces in bronze and assembled the pieces so they floated apart from one another. Then I brought in a lighting specialist, and we built a lighting system to make it glow from within. It turned out even better than I thought. And the best is that the image of expansion means so much to so many who see it. I get letters every day. I feel like I really did my job successfully." So now we're going to give you a moment to share again, thinking about these questions. How does learning about the artist's process and intentions change your experience of the piece? And how does interacting with the piece and reflecting upon it relate to your spiritual journey, your creative work? What are you inspired or challenged to do next? And we'll give you a couple minutes again. Turn to your neighbor. Okay, can you please bring your sharing to a close again? So, these are the kinds of questions we considered together in our Wellspring class. And I'd now like to share with you Mac's reflections on this sculpture. The sculpture reminded me of the Japanese art of kintsugi, which is mending what's broken through meditation. The golden yellow space between the bronze pieces appears as the solar plexus chakra, breaking through the physical body and expanding beyond the corporal space. The human form is attractive, yet the surface shows some serious markings of age as a result of being exposed to the elements. How is that reflective of our bodies, no less perfect in form? I invite each of you to explore and reflect on the spirit of art all around us. Spend time with the world of art and catch the spirit.
Il m'est cher, amour, le bon Dieu qui me tient les paupières closes. Il pèse comme doux fardeau de soleil sur de faibles roses. Si j'avance l'étrange chose, je parais marcher sur les eaux. Mes plis plus lourds, je les pose, s'enfoncent comme des arômes. Qui donc délié de l'ombre le fait d'or de mes longs cheveux, toute sainte d'étreinte sombre, je plonge dans des vagues de feu. Les lèvres, oh mon âme chère,
As always, there are so many ways to connect in this community. Keep an eye out for your e-weekly each week to find ways to connect and re-engage, especially as we move toward the start of the congregational year in September. Do you want an introduction to Unitarian Universalism or to learn more about faith history and what it means to be a part of this community? Beginning and Belonging is a free 2-session course, and it'll start on August 20th and 27th, both at 2 o'clock to 3:30 p.m. over Zoom. This is a great way for anyone seeking to connect more deeply and to learn more about our faith tradition. Also, religious education registration is open for our upcoming congregational year. You can register anytime. The form is available on the website and also in the e-weekly. Today's service was a completely lay-led service, meaning that this group from Wellspring came together to create this immersive experience of art and spirituality. And I just wanted to extend our gratitude to this team of people for bringing us this service today. It's nice to come back from sabbatical and not really have to do any heavy lifting. It's lovely to be able to come back to a service that's filled with so much of what I find meaningful and valuable in my own experience. What a joy it has been this morning to come together in that spirit of exploration and co-creation.
If you have not yet begun your own Wellspring journey, we encourage you to do so. Whether you have been here a few minutes, 1 year, 5 years, or 25 years, it's a journey worth taking. And we want to give a shout out to Pam, who was our lay leader. After taking the intro Wellspring class, she jumped in as a leader for this one. She was terrific, and the class wouldn't have happened without her. Let her be an inspiration to us so that we might all lead, as well as slow down, take our time, and listen to the art, the sacred world of art.